for California's homeless. President Trump reportedly sending a dozen aides to look into the growing homeless crisis in California. A White House spokesperson telling the New York Times, quote, the president has taken notice of the homelessness crisis, particularly in cities and states where the liberal policies of overregulation, excessive taxation, and poor public service delivery are combining to dramatically increase poverty. So, Liz, do you feel it's no doubt an issue? Do you feel like the administration should be parachuting some aides in to come up with a quick fix?
Well, I think somebody should do something. There are 130,000 people in California that are homeless, most of them living without any shelter whatsoever. This is a blight on the neighborhoods, particularly in L.A. and San Francisco. And by the way, it's a health hazard for the entire country. There are outbreaks of diseases, medieval diseases like typhus taking place because of rats overrunning these filthy encampments. This is a true story. So, not sounding hysterical about it, the truth is someone needs to do something. And I don't know if the federal government will have some solutions, having studied this. Certainly the local governments, which have raised about $1.5 billion to try to come up with some solutions, have failed miserably. So I would say that politically, probably the president is hoping to shine a light on what is absolutely a disgraceful situation. And humanitarian aid really should be considered here, or some sort of, fix in terms of adding to housing in the neighborhoods or whatever. I don't think this is something that the federal government should ignore.
Well, I think, Liz, it's also the aid of mental health help, because
Sure.
I think that's one thing California's ignored. You guys talked about, the money that they've raised that hasn't made it to these folks one way or another, the social service delivery. And so I think one of the issues that maybe California has just wanted to turn a blind eye to it or whatnot, but a lot of these folks that are out there need mental health help, if anything, to get off the street, to get somewhere where they can get recuperated at least, or get some different place behind them. So in the sense of the federal government coming in, if they know that going in, maybe that's a better solution than what California has been trying or not trying to do so far.
Well, clearly, it is a mental health issue, but also it's a housing issue in the sense of zoning has made it impossible in California places and elsewhere in this country to put up affordable housing. Some cities, surprisingly Chicago, you do have a variety of housing there for people with different incomes. But in New York, California, and elsewhere, they make it artificially expensive. And then why don't the cities do more to make sure these people aren't sitting on the streets? Why don't they provide temporary shelters? They are ignoring it, and then they blame Washington. Give us more money, and we know the money goes to waste.
Gary, do you feel like it's the right answer, though, to be putting the homeless population into government facilities? Because that was a proposed solution. And then the fear, and just this is based off of commentary that I'm reading online, the fear is that the administration is going to treat the homeless like asylum seekers and just put them into these buildings and push the problem aside.
I think private-public partnership. Here in Central Florida, we have the Coalition for the Homeless that does a marvelous job of at least getting them off the street, getting them into housing, and getting them some meals. This is an absolute sin that you can fill almost 1.5 Rose Bowls with homeless people in California. And it just seems, and look, I'm sure they don't want homeless, but it seems nothing's getting done. If I was the president of the United States, I'm not so sure I'd send 12 people there. I may send 50 people there, because this is an absolute sin that one person is living on the street when you are California and you are such a rich state with so much wealth, and the job is not getting done.